Came into work today, Brody, and I wasn't sure how to feel. Should I feel excited or should I feel nervous? Because you never know what you're going to get with the unpredictable, the talented, the zany, the good guy, Darrin Pfiffer. How you doing, buddy?
Am I unpredictable first and then talented?
Well, no, I think you're talented first, and then sometimes the buffalo comes out.
I just came from Buffalo like an hour ago.
How was it?
It's gross. It's still gross. It's still disgusting. It's still decrepit. Everyone's gross. It's a terrible place to live.
Were you visiting your family?
Visiting my mom. Had a nice lunch and dinner with my mom over the last 24 hours, and it was great to see her and some family and get home. But man, I'm glad to be out of there right now, to be honest.
Yeah, you're always true to it because your family's still there. But if your mom wasn't there, do you think you'd ever go back to Buffalo?
If my mom and my family went there, I'd be stoked if it was nuked. Like I think legitimately, Todd, we joked about this on past shows rather, but I think the city, God feels he made a mistake. You know, like even Detroit's better than Buffalo.
Oh wow,
Toledo, Ohio is better than Buffalo.
You know it's bad when you can get a house for $1, and that's better.
Remember that one story we did years ago? There was a house fire, and then the fire spread to the house next door.
Yeah.
And the Buffalo News, no joke, said house fire in Buffalo last night. Cigarette, whatever, like it always is. Sure. 2 houses were destroyed, $35,000 in damage. They said it with a straight face.
And the engagement rings were gone, too.
Yeah,
so.
right.
Darrin Pfiffer from Goldfinger, living out in L.A. now. How are things going with you?
Things are going great. I'm in Canada because I played Rockfest up in Quebec last weekend with Rancid and Slayer and System of a Down, Linkin Park. It was incredible. We played in front of like 40,000 people in the afternoon. It was great.
I saw it blowing up on social media. It looked like just like an old school fucking rock show.
It's out of control. It's getting bigger and bigger every single year. This guy who owns it is like, his parents won the Quebec lottery. They won like some outrageous number, like $175 million, and he's an only child. So they gave it to him, like, here, son, we don't want anything. We have everything we need, and you're our only child. So here's $175 million. What do you want to do? And he's like, well, I'm going to start a metal and punk festival.
Wow. What's his name? Do you know?
Alex Martel.
What a great story.
Yeah,
so he wanted to give back. Obviously, he's just a true fan, has all this money, and stays true to his roots. And instead of like trying to go into a corporate world and starting to wear white collars and stuff, why not know what he do what he loves?
Yeah, it's this great festival. We had a great time. It was just all access, had an RV. There was beers everywhere, bands. Everyone's being really cool.
And did you play with Goldfinger?
Played with Goldfinger in the afternoon, and then that night after Linkin Park, my Green Day cover band, the Dookies, we closed the night. So basically, Linkin Park opened for the Dookies.
How did you manage that one?
After they finished, the crowd kind of moved over towards our stage, and I'm like, hey, Linkin Park, thanks, guys. Thanks for opening for my Green Day cover band. So it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and everyone's drunk, and there was like a good 10,000 people there, and it was just a blast.
What a blast. Is it? I know you're doing the Dookies too, the Green Day cover band. Is that weird? Green Day still, like, the fact that there's a cover band that could be so successful because they've been doing it for so long, is that still kind of weird to you?
Well, there's a lot of cover bands on the world, man. I mean...
No, but I mean, like, you think of cover bands of bands that are sort of retired or broken up or not doing it anymore. You don't think of kind of cover bands when the story's still all going on. And yet, that's what's going down.
Well, Green Day don't tour as much as people would like, you know? So we did it for fun. We just did it because we wanted to play Dookie start to finish. And in the course of learning Dookie, we learned every other song because they're all the same. So we started playing shows around town. I mean, I'm not dissing Green Day; they're amazing, but obviously I love them. But we started playing shows around town, and fans came to our shows every time we played, and it was a blast. We made a couple extra bucks, so it was just a fun thing to do.
How's it with Goldfinger getting doing? Because you don't do a ton of shows either, and a lot of people would say, "Hey, Darrin Pfiffer, we wish you and the crew would do way more of those." But you're very selective on when you perform.
Yeah, Goldfinger don't play as much as we used to because of a few. Well, the main reason is John Feldman is a producer, a sought-after, successful producer in LA, and he gets a lot of big bands. He's doing 5 Seconds of Summer right now. He's done some really big acts, and it's hard to pull him out of the studio and go play shows. But when the money's just right, and it's a great festival, we just got back from a month ago. We were in the UK doing slam dunk festivals and some headlining shows. Then we flew to Russia and played Moscow.
Are these true stories? Last time I had you on the air in LA, you told me you did one in like somewhere in China or something, and you got like mugged. If you remember, you made up a whole elaborate story, and I was all into it.
Were you
actually in Moscow?
We were absolutely in Moscow. That's an absolute true story. I'm not going to lie. We played Moscow at this venue that held 2,500 people, and we get to the show. We look, it's like a sound academy, a big, beautiful room. We're like, oh my God, we can't fill this room. We've never been to Moscow before. We see the promoter in the dressing room. We're like, hey, Igor, how many tickets are sold today? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know. Have some vodka. And we're like, all right, have some vodka. So we drink some vodka. We're like, seriously, man, how many tickets are sold? He's like, I don't know. It'll be fine. We're like, you're the fucking promoter. He's like, Ed, have some more vodka. And it was like, we leave the venue to go get some food. Doors have been open for half an hour. And we open the curtain, 6 people. We're like, oh my God, this is going to suck. We go away for 90 minutes. We come back to the venue, about 1,000, 1,500. Packed. Right? We're like, what the fuck? Where'd these people come from?
And who knew that? You had, like, do you know you have a following in Russia?
Well, the promoter did, I guess.
Yeah.
So we start playing. They go bananas, and it was a great show. We'll be back in, I think, October for another show.
So that's neat. So you guys are still doing it then. Goldfinger is still like, you'll do, what, 10 shows a year?
Yeah, about 10 to 14, 2 weeks worth of shows a year. And I've joined two other bands. One I can tell you about, one I can't.
Okay, so tell us about the one you can't.
The one I can't. No. I joined Nickelback. Chad Kroger called me. He's like, Darrin, you've always been my buddy, man. You've always were talking good stuff on the edge. And, we kicked Daniel out of the band, and you're our guy. You win. And I was like, no. And then I hung up on him, and I called him back and said, I'm just kidding, bro. I'm in your band. No, it wasn't Nickelback. I can't tell you.
Time, by the way, they canceled their tour today because he's got problems with his, he's got like some cysts on his throat or something.
Really?
Yeah. They literally just came out like an hour ago. Yeah, Nickelback canceled the tour. The comments that were coming in were just so mean. People were like, awesome. Thank God they were on a tour. Who knew?
Yeah. So the band I joined was Punk Rock Karaoke. It's a collection of punk rockers from like Circle Jerks and Adolescence and Black Flag and Bad Religion, these old guys, and like my age, and they get together and they tour around the world. Like I'm going to Costa Rica, I'm going to Japan, I'm going all over with these guys, and they play like these punk rock songs, like 75 song set list, and people show up and write their names next to the song they want to sing. It's like Sex Pistols songs, Ramones, Black Flag, that kind of stuff.
So you're the band for the karaoke.
Punk rock karaoke.
Yeah, it's brilliant and engaging, of course. People love it. But, I always say, Darrin Pfiffer, I don't know how you've done it, and you've had such an incredibly successful career, but you're kind of like the Rent-A-Goalie of drummers. Is that like, how does that, like, people love you, they love having you, and then you learn songs so quick. It's just, you played with so many different bands in your day. Do you still love doing all these new different experiences and having them?
I do. I just love playing drums. I love being involved in musicians, whether it's recording, doing a jingle at a studio, playing a show, filling in for a guy who can't play a show. And if it's music that I don't particularly care for, or if I don't make a lot of money, I just don't care. As long as there's a drum set there and I don't have to bring one, because that's the biggest pain in the ass. Hey guys, you guys know what it's like when you when hey, everything's all fully backlined. You're like, thank God. Versus, I've got to bring everything. And you're like, what are we getting paid? $30? Cool. Great. This is awesome. So, like, as long as I can show up, sit down and play and make a couple bucks and meet new friends, and I'll do it. So sometimes it's bigger bands like the one I can't tell you about. I'll tell you off air. It's going to be a big announcement in the coming months. That's
obviously very exciting.
It's going to be very big for me, and I'm really stoked for it. But and then there's Goldfinger shows that pop up all the time, and I just like being involved in music. Sometimes I play bass. I play bass in a couple bands down in LA. So
I'm just trying to think of the band you're playing. I'm not even listening to you at this point. So
I can just be like blah blah blah, penis, blah blah blah.
Can we take guesses? Can we take guesses?
Can we do guess? Yeah.
I don't know. Can we do guesses?
I'll give you 3 guesses each.
But you won't tell us.
I won't tell you. Why don't you can still guess? Look at him looking at the internet.
I'm just trying to think. Are Stone Temple Pilots still playing?
Stone Temple Pilots now. It's the lead singer Linkin Park is touring with them.
Yeah, Chester.
Chester's doing the lead, but Scott Whalen might need a drummer. Judging from his last performance.
That's also a good guess. Both good guesses.
Interesting. Oh, imagine if you're playing with Pearl Jam. How big would that be?
Pretty big. Pretty huge.
Hey, I'm Jay Brody. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment. We read the best ones on the air.